Welcome to lesson 4.3, cancel and divide variable terms. We've been multiplying variable terms and now we're obviously going to divide. So 3 times blank equals 12x. Well, what goes in the blank? The only thing that goes in the blank is 4x. Finish the rest. Right? 2 times 9 is 18, so 2 times 9y is 18y. Blank times 7x equals 35x. Well, 5 times 7x, right? 5 times 7 is 35. 5 times 7x is 35x. Blank times 4y equals 44y. Well, 11 times 4y equals 44y. And what we're doing today is more like number 5. So what's 44y divided by 4y? Well, it must be 11. But we're not, right? Because it's the same thing as number 4 in reverse, right? But let's just look at the way we're going to do this today, right? We're going to write our division as a fraction, right? And it's going to turn out when you have the same thing top and bottom in a fraction, they cancel out, and 44 divided by 4 is 11. Okay, it's called canceling or dividing variable terms. All right, so 4 times 3x is 12x. So 12x divided by 4 must be 3x, but we'll write it like this, which makes it a lot easier. And let me show you another one. Blank times 2x equals 5x. Well, 5 times 2x, right? So 10x divided by 2x is 5, but let's see that. The x's will cancel out because they make one whole. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Right, if you understood that, you understand much of the lesson already. All right, so as long as we assume the denominator doesn't equal 0, right? The denominator of a fraction can never be 0. That was the standard of 7th grade. All right, the answer to the x over 0 is not 0. It's undefined. There is that, which means no answer, if you didn't know that. And so as long as we assume that x isn't going to be 0 in the denominator, then we can cross out these 7's, and this equals x, because 7 over 7 is what? 1, right? And 1 times x is x. So what can we cross out here, right? As long as this x is not a 0, this will work, right? X over x will equal 1 as long as x is not 0. Why? Because 0 is over 0, it does not equal 1. It equals undefined. But as long as we make that given, then we can say that we can cross these x's out, and this is 9 over 1. But we can skip that and go right to 9. All right, so what can we do here? We can cross out the x's and we can cross out the y's, right? Because x over x is 1, y over y is 1. But there's nothing left in the numerator, so what do you put there? You put a 1, not a 0. And then there's still an 8 there, and the answer is 1/8. Yeah, you can put any numbers you want. You can put 10, and let's say x is 10, y is 7, right? And you do all that math, right? And you get 70 over 560, I believe, and you simplify that fraction, and you're going to get 1/8, right? You're going to get 1/8 no matter what number x and y is. And so 1/8 is way simpler than x times y over 8x times y, right? This is the letter x, it's not the time symbol. So let's try that one. Well, the 13's cancel, the x's cancel, there's nothing left on the top, and this answer is 1 over y. All right, so we're going to divide variable terms. We simplify the coefficients just like any fraction, right? If you have 24 fourths, right, 24 divided by 4 is 6, right? Now we're going to write it this way. We're going to say 4 divided by 4 is 1, 24 divided by 4 is 6. Then we have 6 times y. Now we have 6y over 1. You can skip that and go right to 6y, the answer. That first fraction will always equal 6 times whatever y is. Try that one. So the 6, right, if you had 6/12, that would simplify to 1/2. We're going to do it this way. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 12 divided by 6 is 2, right? And, oh yeah, and I want to write these bigger. There we go. Thank you. And so we have a 1 on the numerator, and 2 times y in the denominator, it's 1 over 2y. All right, so we hardly ever write it this way, so let's rewrite it. It's 56x over 8x, right? The first thing, doesn't matter big or smaller, first thing goes up top. The x's cancel, because that equals 1, and 56 over 8 equals what? 7. Nine 27 simplifies to 1/3, so we have 1 times x, or x in the numerator, 3 in the denominator, x over 3, or right, x over 3. We don't say x thirds. I almost did, but that's not a thing. Whole numbers and letters can be written over 1, right? I was just doing that, but let's make sure we all understand. So 2/3 times x, so it's 2/3 times x over 1. All right, so is there anything to cancel here? No. So let's just multiply across. 2 times x, 2x, 3 times 1, 3. This is 2/3 times x is the same as 2x over 3. It is. All right, so that 1/4 times x, right, there's x in the numerator, is the same as 1 times x, x, right, because we're not going to write 1x. 4 times 1, it's the same, 1/4 x, this is 1/4 x, is the same as x over 4. All right, so now we have some canceling finally, right? The 2 becomes a 1, the 8 becomes a 4, because 2 goes into 8 4 times. That's a 4, and that's a y, so the answer is 1 times y, or y over 1 times 4, y over 4. This is 1 over 6y times 3. The 3 cancels with the 6 becomes a 2. We have 1 times 1 on the top, 2 times y times 1 on the bottom. The answer is 1 over 2y. Try this one. So it's 2/11 times 11x over 1. All right, what cancels here? Right, cross canceling from 6th grade. 11's cancel. Nothing else cancels, so 2 times x is 2x over 1. We're not going to leave it that way. We're going to write 2x. 1/6 of 18y. So the 18y goes in the numerator. 6 divided by 6, 1. 18 divided by 6, 3. 1 times 3y, 3y. And you can skip the 3y over 1 step. So this is 5 times 1/15 x. All right, so now this x is in the numerator. Okay, and that's a big deal. Right? It's not in the denominator. You can write that x where it is or in the numerator. Please know that. I'm going to write it down, in fact. So, the 15 and the 5 cancel. The 5 becomes a 1. The 15 becomes a 3. On the numerator, we have 1 times 1 times 1, 1 times 1 times x, which is x. 1 times 3 times 1 is 3. The answer to this is x over 3. Right, so that's 1 over 14y. And there's the 7. The 7 becomes a 1. The 14 becomes a 2. This is 1 over 2y. So make sure you keep track of what's in the denominator, like the last two, and what's in the numerator, like the first two. All right, word practice. Do all 6 of these. Two negatives make a positive, right? So this becomes positive 7. So we have 7b over 1, which is 7b. The y's cancel. We have 4 over x. So you can rewrite this